In episode 9, Melanie wakes up and she's got a note from Nema apologizing for what he did, knocking her out. But as she's reading it, she's unaware of the fact of everything that's going on in New Eden. The fight for New Eden, the fact that Alex is being held at gunpoint to switch the train tracks, which, by the way, she does not do. She actually sabotages the train switch so that they can't move Big Alice. Yeah, Melanie's unaware of all of it, but New Eden is fighting back. It's not like they're not taking casualties. Boki is hurt, but Josie's able to get him to safety. And there's a lot of other close calls thanks to that sniper on the ridge, but they do have some things going for him. Like Osweiler was able to get a radio, and he's able to hear all of Nema's people and what they're up to. Because they know exactly where the sniper is, Till is going to sneak up on that ridge and try to take him out. While she's doing that, Javi thinks he's found a way around the bombs. He thinks he has an idea on how to change the transmitter so that when Nema tries to set those bombs off, they won't work. The problem is, in order for Javi to be able to do that, he needs to get in his shop, which is where the track switch is, which is where Alex is being held. So they essentially need to free Alex, get Javi in there to be able to build this device to jam the bombs. It's around this time where Nema, who is on Snowpiercer, he's nowhere near the fight, he goes to Melanie and tries to get her to convince Alex to fix the track switch, get on his side. He knows that this fight hasn't exactly gone his way so far. It's not like he can't win it, but he slightly underestimated the power of the New Eden residents. He knows that if Melanie can talk sense into Alex and they move Big Alice, it'll save bloodshed, but it could also save the world, or at least his mission. Melanie, however, tells him that New Eden isn't about to just stand by and let him steal their engine twice. To which Nema says, well, they're already standing by. I mean, they're pinned down via sniper rifles, and it'll stay that way until we're through. Melanie, though, doesn't care. She tells him no. And he says, okay, well, if you're not going to help me, then I have no reason to hold the town or its residents hostage anymore. I'll just bury them. That gives Melanie a lot to think about. While she decides what exactly she's going to do with Nema's proposition, Layton was able to free Alex. Layton is able to get Alex over to the town hall, but at this point he's really playing general. He's trying to keep his troops alive and in line with the mission. Meanwhile, Alex has a lot of questions, mainly about how he got back, but also what happened to Wilfred. And that's when Layton has to tell her Wilfred died. Alex tries to act like this doesn't bother her, but it does, because, like it or not, Joseph Wilfred was the closest thing she had to a father. So she is upset by it, and Layton can tell. But Layton also has people he needs to think about in this moment, mainly Osweiler, who's out there in the streets being the bait. Layton figures it's probably best to let Alex just sit there and process the news that he just gave her, so he goes to head out and help Osweiler in this moment. But that's when he gets a radio call from Javi saying, hey, don't come out here because you've got one of Nema's men coming inside the town hall. So he has to hunker down with Alex and game plan on how to take this guy out who's got an assault rifle. The best course of action they get is to just make a break for it and run. It works for Alex, but it doesn't quite work for Layton. He does end up getting into a fight with the soldier, but Layton comes out on top. And at the same time, Till is up on the mountainside, and she's been able to take out the sniper. So things are really turning towards New Eden's direction. It seems like they've at least won the first battle, and the town council meets up and tries to game plan on what they're going to do next. Layton tells him that Javi's currently in the shop, he's working on the bombs, and the plan stays the same. Try to get them to funnel down Main Street, and then they ambush. But Alex cuts him off and says, Nema's plan isn't going to be what you think. He is determined to shoot that rocket off at all costs. What I did to the track switch is only going to hold for so long, and if he gets to the engine, he's going to eventually get past that. For the council, this just shows the importance of them winning this fight. Now, the good news is Javi was able to get that jammer working. But the rest of the members of New Eden, they wait. They wait for Nema to show up with his men and walk down Main Street so they can ambush them. But when Nema does show up, they're a little surprised because there's Nema and there's all of his soldiers, but there's also Melanie. Melanie gave in to Nema's demands. She's not happy about it, but she, a lot like Alex, figured it was the easiest way to save some lives. What she wasn't expecting was how Nema planned on taking New Eden, and mainly taking Big Alice. He wasn't going to ask for Big Alice. He was going to use chemical warfare. As soon as Nema and his men get through the gates, they all put on gas masks and they all start gassing the town. Now, Leighton saw this coming about 30 seconds before it happened, so he tells everybody, run. But for a lot of them, it's too late. They're knocked out. Alex is saved, but only by Melanie, who gives her a gas mask and says, you're coming with me. It doesn't take Nema more than a few minutes to knock out most of the residents of New Eden and force the rest of them into the town hall. And while the residents wake up and gather themselves, Nema's busy retrofitting Big Alice for the launch. Things are looking real bleak for the members of New Eden. Nema and Melanie now have both engines, and they're stuck in the town hall train car with gunmen outside. There's not a lot of options for them. One of the minor issues they have is, whose idea was this? They question whether Melanie or Alex or both had a hand in this. And gassing the town was actually Melanie's idea. When Nema gassed her, she knew that Nema had a safe weapon, so she was able to convince him that instead of using bullets, use gas, it's safer, it's less bloodshed. But when Nema gassed Melanie, he also gassed any chance that Melanie would ever help him. Sure, her and Alex are in Big Alice right now, but on the surface, while it looks like they're helping Nema, in reality, they're trying to sabotage what he wants to do. They're able to talk about this while Dr. Hedwood and Nema tour New Eden. Josie watches these two stroll the town, and all she wants to do is rip Dr. Hedwood's head off. While many people's mission is to preserve New Eden, for Josie, her mission is simple. Get the revenge she feels like she deserves on this doctor who's used her body as a playground. Knowing this, Ruth goes to check on her, and while Josie says she's fine, it's clear that Josie's attitude has completely changed. Ruth then heads up to talk to Leighton about exactly how they're going to get out of this jam when they get a radio call from Melanie, and she immediately apologizes for gassing the town but explains it was the safest route. She then tells them that her plan is to bring Snowpiercer into the town and have them board the train and put up a fight against Nema. The big issue for Leighton and his people is just getting out that door. Leighton knows that as soon as they open the door and charge into town, Nema's people are just going to shoot him up. But there's one trick up Leighton's sleeve. It's Javi. Javi's the only one that wasn't caught up in this fight. He was busy trying to jam the signals of the bombs and getting an antenna up on the mountains. So he's actually outside. Leighton tells Javi that he needs him to get a bomb, put it in the center of the town to use as a distraction. The bomb then detonates, it distracts all of Nema's people, and they can rush out. And that's exactly what they do when Snowpiercer arrives. Everybody rushes into the center of the town. They go to attack Nema's people, and they realize that Nema's people might have guns, but they have no ammo. They're not in the clear yet, though. Nema has more soldiers. And what Leighton and his people have to do is charge their way into that train, which is nothing new to Leighton, but it's still not fun. Most of them are able to successfully get onto the train, but when Nema realizes what's happening, he orders the train to leave immediately. And once they get out of the blast radius, he tells his people to set the bombs off. Of course, they don't go off because Javi already took care of that. When this happens, Nema is furious. He turns to go yell at both Melanie and Alex, feeling like they had a hand in it, but Melanie and Alex are gone. They've taken off to go down train and help their friends. And finally, there was a little bit of a reveal in this episode. Nema is actually Alex's biological father. Nema and Melanie, they knew each other from college, and she felt like he'd be a good match because the Nema that she knew in college was a great guy. He wasn't this thing that he is now. So that's a bit of a buzzkill for Alex. She finds out that her father figure is dead, and then she finds out that her actual father is trying to, quote-unquote, save the world, but in reality will probably end up killing it if he's successful.
Thank you so much for checking out this recap. Please consider subscribing to the channel and subscribing to my Patreon. Hit thumbs up if you liked it. Smash that thumbs down button if you thought it sucked. If you left a comment, I don't get back to you. I usually don't check the comments unless they're like a super comment. Also, if you don't see the next video up on the end screen, not to worry, it'll be up in a day or two.